Good. Well, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out for the show today. I'm looking forward to getting into your work and your world. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it too.
Me too. So let's begin our journey with this. I always start with this question. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the world, changing our lives. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you do things today?
It was so weird actually because, as heartbreaking as that entire period was for people, I thought it's not going to be much of a, difficult journey for me because I was a hardcore introvert actually. I would just stay in my room anyway. So I was like, okay, COVID, I'll just stay in my room. What's the big deal? And I found myself reaching out more to people, not because I wanted human contact, but I felt like other people really needed it. And I always had that empathetic sense of, I know there's someone who needs to talk. And if I can be that person who talks to them, why not? Right. Even though I was an introvert, I'm like, I love conversations. I genuinely think that when someone is being authentic and someone shows that they care, even if it's a stranger, it goes a really long way in someone thinking about their life and feeling better and feeling stronger. So I just reached out to everyone I could during that time, and so many people were so happy to hear from me. I was so happy to hear from them, and I think it gave me a lot of time to develop as a human being as well and ask myself some really hardcore questions that I never bothered asking myself before, because we're all in this rat race, right, of just getting things done and moving and going out and this and that, and then you're forced to just take it all out and look at yourself and reevaluate your life. So, yeah, it was a blessing in a way for me. I choose to see it that way. Of course, there's a lot of it that shouldn't have happened the way it did, but I choose to see it as a blessing, and I
I
think
would,
it's helped.
yeah, I would imagine as a writer, being a creative, that
Mm.
time would have enhanced the way that you would write and the way that you would view the world. Did it help?
It didn't actually. I didn't do much writing during COVID, because during COVID I was still working. So I was working from home, and I didn't even know I was going to be a writer. I didn't even know I would write a book. So I was ghost writing for someone else. So I was writing a book for someone else, and then I got me thinking, why can't I write for myself? Like, I'm writing for this person. I don't even know if my name is going to be on it, and that's just not the kind of writing I want to be a part of. I want writing to have a lot of heart and soul, and that only happens when you're truly committed to the project, and especially when it's your project, you tend to do that. So I didn't do a lot of writing, but instead I think I did a lot of experiencing. I spoke to people. I had those difficult conversations. I put myself out there. I made myself, I pushed my comfort zone, and all of those things is what helped me write, to be honest. So I've written two books. The first book is called Unshakeable You, and that's the self-help nonfiction book. It took me 3 months, but before those 3 months, it took me years to buffer and understand and process the information that would then go into the book, right?
Yeah.
So writing is actually the easy part. It's not the words that are on the page, but it's getting to that message internally within me and having the conviction to actually put it on paper. Because people have great ideas all the time, they don't have the conviction to go through with it.
Yeah.
So it's that took time. Writing is easy.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If I put you in front of a bunch of 13, 12, 13-year-olds at career day to
Mm,
school, and one of the
mm,
kids wanted to know what you do for a living, how do you explain your
mm.
day job?
Oh, I would say that I had a dream. I had a very strong intention of following my passion and creating a life that I genuinely love living. And for that, it took a lot of courage. For that, it took a lot of patience. I had to work as a scientific writer. I didn't love it, but it gave me the skill to then become a full-time author. And then I learned my, financial about finances and investments. And then those took off after like 2 or 3 years, and then they've enabled me to create a lifestyle where I don't have to work for a living. I work because I want to and not because I have to. And that's a great like privilege, right, for me to get there. But it didn't come easy. I had to take that leap of faith within me. So to any kid, to anyone listening, it doesn't matter what age you are, it would be for them to build that courage within themselves, for them to build an intention of what they actually want. There are so many things you can be. You can be anything in this world, but you need to have the conviction that follows through on it. Because there will be people who tell you that's not a real job. What are you going to do? That's not feasible. That's not possible. Everyone has their own opinions, but if it's something that you think is for you, then you must have the conviction to follow through on it.
So
So
when you
learn
were,
that first.
yeah, for sure. So when you were that age, what did you want to be
Mm.
when you grew up? What was your dream job?
So at that point of time, you're heavily influenced by the culture and people around you, right? So especially coming from like an Eastern, like Asian household, it's either an engineer or a doctor, especially for Indians. So I thought I'll be a doctor, and then I grew up a little, and I'm like, no, there are a lot of doctors in India, but there are not a lot of people doing research and committing themselves to that field, and we really need that. We have amazing minds here, but we don't do the research here. We don't have the funding here, and we don't do that. So I thought, okay, why not commit myself to that? And I went to UK. I got a scholarship. I worked there. I worked in the lab, and then I realized, okay, I'm not cut out for the lab. This is a the great privilege to be a part of this research, but you also have to play to your strengths. Always play to your strengths. Whether whatever you choose, I know that I'm good at writing, I know that I'm good at communicating and all of those things. I'm not very great at taking a pipette and then being very dexterous with my hands in a lab. So I just knew that before I spend another 5 years doing a PhD, it's time for me to take a step back and see what more I can do with the degree that I did have. So I think knowing yourself is a very, very important thing, no matter
Yeah.
where you are in life. Yeah.
So take me back to your beginnings. What made you so highly
Mm.
driven to get to this point where you're writing self-help books, you're in the scientific world, all of these
Mm.
things that are a part of your success and your vision? How did that begin in the beginning?
I just I think I was always a curious person. That helps. That was the Kickstarter where I always wanted to know things. I love being a little know-it-all, I suppose. I wanted to know things. I wanted to explore. So I would always talk to people. I would ask questions, and I've always been a highly scientific person my whole life. I wanted answers. I wanted to explore everything about the human body. So that's why I became a molecular biologist at that point, and I found it so fascinating. But everything seems to have like a parallel universe of sorts. So what you see scientifically, you can also explore spiritually. So when I grew up as an adult, that became another curious quest of mine of, oh, okay, there's this whole outer world, but there's also this inner world that there's always a monologue going in. And how do these two things interact? And are they two separate things, or they are going hand in hand together? So I think that sense of curiosity has driven me to doing so many different things. Like I've been a teacher, I've been a writer, I've done so many things. You name it, I've done it, I think. So, and that's only come from not being judgy about anything, not having a bias towards anything and me, oh, this is beneath me, oh, that's too much, I can't do that. If you have the opportunity, go for it. If you have the intention, go for it. So work especially with the intention of learning something from it. And I've always called myself an eternal learner, and I think that's exactly why I was highly driven to just keep learning, no matter what that field was, whether that was science, whether that was the art of writing, whether that was just communicating and being a better public speaker. It's just the will to learn and keep getting better at it. That's it. That's the intention that you set for yourself.
For sure. So who's been your hero? Who's been your inspirational force in life?
I think it's obviously all the moms out there. I've seen their roles evolve over a period of time. Before I was first just a housewife, but now they're just not just working at home, but then they're also going to work and working there, and literally superwoman all around me. It doesn't take a celebrity, or it doesn't take a famous person for you to inspire you. You can just look around and you will find so many people to be inspired by. And I've always been a person, I've never put anyone on a pedestal, so I don't have many, oh, famous idols or famous celebrities. I just have this ability to look at a person, see the best in them, and then kind of try and imbibe that in a person. And it can be so many people that I meet in a day. I always see the best in them. So it's easier for me to know that that's what I wanted me to.
Sure. So let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, whether it's
Mhm.
somebody that writes, somebody that's in the world of science, somebody that might help you on your journey that you could spend a little time with, who would you love to meet? Anybody on the planet.
Mm. Okay, alive or like someone who was alive?
We could do both. We could do one or the other.
I think writing wise, I really like Mark Twain. I think he's written some really like classic things that I would love to just discuss with him and go over that again and again because it's still true to this age. I think all of the people who have created something special were courageous enough to just explore their mind and then put it out there. So him. And then, oh my God, I'm just thinking of all the people in the past. I can't think of anyone in the present really. Even scientist-wise, I would say Max Planck because he was a hardcore scientist. He's changed the like field of physics and all of that. But he also had a more of a abstract spiritual side to him, which I find very interesting. People think that if you're very scientific, you can't be a spiritual, inquisitive person, but I think that's wrong. I feel like both those things are the same thing because it takes a curious mind to be both those things. It takes a curious mind to be scientific. It takes a curious mind to be spiritual as well. So, yep, that's the two people. And who else? Nobody currently. Yeah, probably. We can say Elon Musk. I just want to know what's up, what's cooking in that mind of that his. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
for
to know
sure.
what a billionaire's mindset is. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of, what motivates you every day to do the work that you do, to have this vision, to have this idea of fulfillment and success, and then to take care of your own soul? How does that work for you?
I think seeing every day as an opportunity is a very big part of it because I don't take for granted the fact that I'm alive. And it's so easy. I remember when I was younger, whenever I felt embarrassed or cringe, I'd be like, oh my God, just kill me now. Oh God, just kill me. I just kept saying that. I never really meant it. But then, I would say it with a lot of passion. And then once I did get dengue and I ended up in the hospital and I was very close to being dead. And then I was praying all kinds of prayers and I'm like, I don't want to. I'm so thankful for my life. No, 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 no. And I think ever since then, I've been very careful with the words that I use, been very intentional because I do realize that our words have a lot of power, more than we even realize. And I would never use it against me. So every day that I do live is a great opportunity. I heard the saying, right? Live every day as if it's your last. I know we don't do that often, but I think it's a genuinely a great way of maximizing everything you can in a day because that's just life. There's so many things that life can offer, but what are you looking out for? Are you looking out for sadness? Are you looking out for happiness? It's what you have your filters set to. So I always have my filters set to what else can I do in this day? What else can I, bring to someone? How can I give to someone today? And what I can create for myself. And if I'm saying, and if I'm, and I especially becoming an author, writing a non-fiction book has created this new standard for me, right? I can't be a hypocrite. I can't tell people to be your best self, reach your highest potential. And at the same time, I'm feeling like a sack of potatoes and I just hate everything and hate everyone. So I know that if I've written this book, I know what it's taken me to get there and I'm not going back. So I'm very happy to live that life and get every single day as a new opportunity.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You ran into the 18-year-old version of you at your age
Mm,
now, and you walk into a room and there's a
mm,
film projector and you hit play and there's a 60-second highlight reel of this life that you've orchestrated and lived. Would that young
mm.
version of you believe your life turned out this way?
Not at all. Not at all. Because that version of me is so radically different from who I am today. She would just be shell shocked if this was even possible. And I think that boils down to understanding that you can make choices and your choices do matter. I feel like a lot of women and a lot of people in general feel trapped and hopeless in their lives because they think that only two choices in front of them and they can't do anything differently and so their life will never change, But that's not true at all. 18-year-old me did feel like I don't think things will ever be that great. I'm just not that lucky, blah, blah. I don't have that many choices, you know. That's the kind of thinking that I had back then. And now I'm like, okay, I'm choosing everything. What do I want to choose? What do I want to do? Everything is a choice. So I never feel like I'm helpless or something is happening to me or I'm a victim of any kind. So I'm the one taking full accountability for my life, knowing that what I choose is what I experience. So there's no one to blame and there's no one to shame. I can't even shame myself for it. So it's just a much freer way of being. I feel so relieved. 18-year-old me was very vexed and very anxious. So, yeah, I just want to give her a hug and let her know that we made it. It
Yeah.
gets better.
So let me ask you this. If you walked into a room of everybody that's known you as a professional and as somebody that's trying to help people get to a better place, and you had to tell
Mm.
them one fun story about your life, maybe the first concert you went to, jumping out of an airplane, a wonderful place you traveled to, something that would humanize you a little bit to that room, what would be a fun story you would tell that room?
Fun story. My God. I can't think of it on spot, but somehow I just end up being in these situations that I never thought I would be. And I can't think of one story, but yeah, I can think of one of my mom and me apparently. So like she when I was a kid, apparently she saw some celebrity that she, really liked, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's her!" And she carried me along with her, and she just got really close up, and they thought she was like some kind of terrorist or something, and then she's like, "No, I'm just a big fan. Look, this is my baby,"
Yeah,
and then she ended up taking selfies with that celebrity and that politician. So
that's
yeah,
awesome. I love it.
thank God, worked
Yeah.
out well for all of us.
Uh-huh. Yep, for sure. So when you look back in the rearview mirror of your life, what are you the happiest about, the proudest of?
I think the fact that I wanted to learn more about myself. I didn't resign to life and its circumstances. I think that that's the character trait that I'm the most proud of, because that was a turning point in my life, right? If I have my whole life in front of me, and if I see a lot of people giving up too early and being like nothing is going to change, economy is bad, everything is bad, why bother trying, right? If I had that mindset, I think I wouldn't have survived for too long. It is a one-way road to hell, and no one is going to come and help you. You have to be that person for yourself. And while you're being that person for yourself, you end up being the light for other people as well. So I'm so glad that even in all of that darkness, whatever I was experiencing, I decided that I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to find a way to figure out why I'm the way I am, and make it a better place for myself to be. So I'm so happy I went on that journey. And then the book and writing, everything is just a bonus, honestly, that I get to do those things. But none of it would have been possible without that decision that I made internally. So I'm very happy about that.
Excellent. So let me ask you this. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, fans, everybody that gets your book, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your
Mm.
perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ah, great question. Oh my God. This is a million-dollar question, to be
Yes.
honest. This is and this is the question that I used to struggle with a lot, because I would answer anything and everything. I can get very philosophical about anything, but when it comes to, so who are you? It will be crickets. I don't know what to say, but I think now I can just say that I am pure joy. I'm a very, very joyful person. I just love being alive. I'm so grateful being alive. And I think that joy pours into everything I do. Whether it's a book, whether it's a conversation that I'm having, whether I'm cooking a meal for someone, I'm bringing that joy. I'm bringing that energy to everything I do. And I think that's how people remember me as well. If anyone who knows me, they're like, "You're very energetic, you're very chirpy. I can't are you an introvert, are you sure?" I'm like, "No, no, I really am." But because I feel that zest for life, because I'm genuinely happy, it shows, and it's contagious. And that's the kind of pandemic I want to spread around. The joy, the joy pandemic.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So let me ask you this. If anybody wants to get their hands on Unshakable You, they want to reach
Mm.
out, they want to learn more, anything else in your world, where's the best place for them to go?
I think right now all my books are on Amazon. So if you type my name, Nidhi Kona, I think both my books would show up. But yeah, the if you want to work on yourself, if you want to know, so Unshakable You is more about how to stay calm even in a burning building, right? How to stay confident when everything is uncertain. And I think it's a very important topic in today's world, at least, when we're surrounded by the heights of uncertainty. So if you want to know more about that, go on Amazon, type Unshakable You, and the book should pop right up. Wait, I have a book. It looks like this.
Yes.
And then I've also dabbled in writing a mystery thriller but that too is with a message, and that too is about staying true to yourself and having faith when everything seems like it's falling apart. So, but I've made it more interesting. So I've had fun with it. That's called The Mirror That Echoed, and that's also on Amazon. And I also have a newsletter list just for my readers who genuinely like listening to me and getting like updates from me and what I'm thinking, what my new perspective is on something. So I have a newsletter called The Vantage as well, and I will be sharing those links with you if you
Wonderful.
like.
Well, I will put all these links in the show notes. So great to meet you. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your message. Best of luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Joe. Wonderful being here. Thank you for this opportunity for having this authentic conversation. Thank
It's been
you.